Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Dan the Happiness Coach. You're watching Coffee, Consciousness, and Convos. Today, I'm looking at the whole entire month of August coming up here. One of the things that I'm really into is this idea of numerology, which is similar to astrology in a lot of ways because everything's basically geometrical, mathematical. You can look at the entire universe through the language of geometry, mathematics. All the ancient philosophies and all the ancient wisdom was based around these kinds of things. They've been around forever. I'm not the first person to talk about this, and I'm not the last person to talk about it either. But it is really interesting if you do decide to dive into that, any one of those things, and look a little bit more deeply into it. So in numerology, there's this thing called a life path. Basically, you add up the numbers of your birth date, the month, the day, the year, add them up, and then if you also have more information like the time you were born, where you were born, then these things start to give you a life path number based on all of the numbers that are involved, basically. And humanity has its own life path, and sort of the frequency of the planet has its own life path, you could say. So I'm recording this on July 27th, Monday. You'll probably see this last day of July or first day of August. And that month is all about the number 8, right? It's the 8th month. And 8 is not only just about abundance, which a lot of people associate the number 8 with, but this month in particular is also going to be associated with sovereignty, meaning really looking at where we feel obligated and the things that we feel like we have to do, that we must do, that are so important to us. Basically, we're going to look at where we give our power away. And we do it in relationships, we do it in jobs, we do it with our relationship to money, we do it with all different kinds of things. People give their power away to all different kinds of things that isn't in their best interest. Because when we're talking about creating our own personal heaven, well, what's the reference point? What's the reference point for your best life? That's a great question to ask. The reference point for how well you are enjoying your life, or how happy you are, or how healthy you feel, or how successful you feel, or all the different things in your life, there's only one reference point. You. You are the reference point, and you will always be the reference point. And this gets into a whole different kind of discussion about how we make choices and what we're making choices from, which is what August will basically be all about. Where am I making choices from? Am I doing it from a place of fear, worry, struggle, hard work, running around, hectic energy, stressful lifestyle? If I'm in that kind of an energy, I'm going to make decisions that align with that, and then I'm going to manifest that kind of reality. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like my personal heaven on earth. I don't know about you, but that's not where I'm headed or what I'm aiming to do. What I would rather do, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably would agree, but let me know in the comments what you think. I want to create from a place of peace, from harmony, from happiness, from joy, from the things that excite me, from the things that I love being in the process of doing, from a healthier lifestyle, basically, a more centered lifestyle. That is the world I want to create for myself, and I help other people do that through things like this, through my coaching and online courses and books, etc. So there's a way that you can make different choices. And by the way, I wasn't always like this, right? 15 years ago or whatever it was, 12 years ago at this point, whatever it was, I was doing something completely different, where I was basically working in a gym nonstop, just doing personal training and stuff like that. But that had a ceiling on it because I felt like I was meant to not just work my whole life away. And there was things I wanted to do. And then my wife had this idea called YouTube back in 2016, 2017. Well, she was doing it before that, 2014, where she was like, hey, we can really take our skills. She worked in a hospital and she has a master's degree. Take our skills and our knowledge and create something through YouTube and online And that'll give us a lot more freedom. And we can do all these fun things, create all these fun things, go see all these fun things. And we wound up manifesting all of these dreams, creating more of our heaven on earth. We went around the world. We lived in Costa Rica. We saw, I proposed at the Eiffel Tower in Paris. We did all these crazy things. We were on television. We started working with all these different companies. Too many things to name here, honestly, and I don't want to bore you with them, but we just basically had a ton of fun in ways we never thought we could. And it was only because we started to align more with what we really wanted versus the stuff that we didn't really want, that we had kind of just been doing because we were told that's what we're supposed to do. So in the month of August, this is a time where sort of certain things just can't move forward anymore. Certain things that you just know in your heart, it's just not the right way, is really going to be called up and thrown in your face in a certain kind of a way so you can see it and go, wait a minute, is this what I really want? Is this who I really am? Is this really what I want to continue to create? And from that place, if you allow yourself to just breathe on that and let the dust settle on all that, you will notice that there is something inside of you that you want to create or do or be a part of or participate in. It could be something really big. It could be something really small. It's usually something pretty small, relatively speaking. But even though it's a small step, it opens up a huge amount of energy. That's the paradox. When you start taking one small step towards something that you enjoy, and it's really representative of your heart's joy and desire, and you start taking little action steps, you start getting a flood of positive energy. Your health can increase. I've seen people's weight change to become healthier. I've seen diseases start to go away. I've seen miracles essentially happen in my own life and in my client's life, where just taking those little steps of following your joy, creating your own personal heaven on earth, falling back in love with yourself in the process of life, doubling down on that thing that's kind of been inside you since you were a 5-year-old, whatever that is, drawing, painting, singing, dancing. It doesn't have to be on a big scale. But I want you to try this experiment. See if you can do a little process where you take a look at maybe something that you're not really enjoying so much in your life. A job, a relationship, whatever. Maybe you're watching too much TV. You don't want to watch too much TV. Instead of focusing on that thing being that way, imagine if nothing mattered. Money didn't matter. Success didn't matter. Getting to some end goal didn't matter. Being seen as smart or important didn't matter. None of these things that we currently think matter. We just put them on the back burner, put them off to the side, just clear the table. And if you can allow yourself to really get to that space, that empty space, that detached space, that feeling of relief and, okay, I don't got to worry about nothing. Soak that up and then see what you're inspired to do. The best time of day to do this is as soon as you wake up. But you can do it any time throughout the day, and you may want to do it multiple times throughout the day. But just see what happens when you wipe the slate clean. I recommend doing this often so that we can really feel what we're feeling, and then the things that are truly representative of our path and what we need to do. And by the way, this includes everything, right? This includes all of the material stuff, not just the spiritual stuff or the emotional stuff, but it includes your whole entire life. Everything that you think is important is included here and gets taken care of. When you allow yourself to move in that way, just do a little experiment and allow yourself to really get clear, wipe it all away, there's nothing to do, and then see what bubbles up. It might be an idea, it might be a phrase, it might be a word, it might be simply taking a nap, going for a walk, doing something simple. That's your body saying, hey, we need to rest a little bit, we need to take care of ourselves a little bit, which is huge, right? Because the whole basis of your life is your well-being. If you don't have health, you really don't have anything. So try this little experiment. It should only take you about 5 minutes and see if anything comes up. And if you feel like letting me know what happened in the comment section, chime in and we can have a little dialogue. But either way, thank you for watching this. Thank you for considering creating a little bit more of your own personal heaven on earth. And I'm super curious to hear more about your story or why you're here in the first place. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Feel free to share this with anybody that you think it'll resonate with. But yeah, I'm so appreciative that you're here, and I'll see you in the next one.